This is a Transpennine Express service to Edinburgh.
This train station is so pretty. It's been so many years since I've been in Edinburgh that I'm just amazed by everything all over again. So I've just checked into the hotel. So far, so good. The reception staff were very kind and helpful. They actually let me check in a little bit earlier. But let me show you what the room looks like, because this is very different to any other hotel that I've stayed in. As you walk in, the first thing you see is the bed, which can be elevated to make it extra comfortable. So I've got to go and explore Edinburgh now, but I don't want to get up from this bed. It's got just the right amount of softness and support, and it feels like a marshmallow. It just envelops you. Can we normalize these kind of beds for all hotels, please? Because this is just superior. Something I do want to mention. I was really excited about staying in this hotel because I love this kind of minimalist concept. It really does remind me of some of the hotels I stayed in Japan. But I don't think I'll be staying with this chain of hotels again, because I did find quite a few issues that made my stay kind of awkward. For example, the towels are for some reason in the toilet. There is nowhere to hang them when you're having a shower, so this means that the only thing you can do is leave them on the floor outside of the shower. The toilet also doesn't have a bin. You only have one bin, which is in the bedroom. The rooms were not being cleaned when I stayed here, and I was asked to leave the bin outside of my room for housekeeping, which I did. But this bin was not emptied, it was not moved, it just stayed there. So I just used an extra plastic bag for the rubbish. Also, if you're traveling with someone else, keep in mind that the shower and toilet cubicles pretty much give you zero privacy. Another thing is that the provided shower amenities were not refilled and instead were full of water. And finally, the aircon had a mind of its own. The room got very hot at night, and no matter how many times I turned down the aircon, it just went back up again. These might not be a deal breaker for you, but just keep in mind that this is a 4-star hotel, and there are a lot of other hotels in Edinburgh. Yotel definitely do try to mimic the Japanese aesthetic, but they miss a lot of the amenities and hospitality that comes with staying in a Japanese hotel. I have just noticed this, there's a button on the mirror. So you can dim the mirror, and then if you press it again, it turns it off completely. And then if you want it back on, just press it again. And we get a little cooler. And it's hot at the moment. I don't know why it's hot, it should be cold. Why is it hot? That's concerning. So we've got a hairdryer, and we have an iron as well, so this is very handy, especially if you are staying here on business. So before we head out, I want to mention a couple of things about this hotel. So check-in is contact-free, meaning that you can use the tablet to check in without speaking to any members of staff. But if you need any help at all, or you need your bags storing, the members of the team are there. My room type is the Premier Queen room, and it comes with a window. And I'm saying this because I did read online that some cabins, these are called cabins, not rooms, I read online that some cabins do not come with a window. If you want a window, I would recommend doing what I did, which is just asking the hotel directly whether your room type will come with a window. I asked them whether the Premier Queen room will come with a window, and they said all Premier Queen rooms come with a window. I know that this is the cabin concept, but it's not quite a capsule hotel, so I still would expect a window. And lastly, something I think a lot of people would be very shocked at. This hotel does not come with tea and coffee making facilities at all. So if you want a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, bring your own travel kettle, like I did. The reason I brought the travel kettle is because tomorrow morning I'm getting up very, very early to go on an incredibly long tour into the highlands, which means that when I get up, no coffee shops are going to be open, and I need my coffee in the morning. I need some caffeine in the morning to function well. Okay, let's head out and explore Edinburgh. I am currently at the National Museum of Scotland. I've wanted to come here for quite a long time. They have some really interesting exhibitions, and also I haven't been to a museum in so many years. Last time I was at a museum, I think it was in Japan for a one-time only special exhibition. The museum is free admission, and it could be a great day out where you learn a lot about the history of Scotland and see other historical pieces. The building is beautiful. It's so light. Oh my goodness, look at the size of this whale skull. It's huge! Because I am in Scotland, I'm going to go see the Scotland galleries first, which are through the sciencey area of the museum. I spoke to one of the attendants and she recommended going this way first, checking out the Scottish exhibition and then moving on to other stuff. Oh my goodness, this is so cool! They even have a robotics area. I absolutely love this stuff. I just think it's amazing that you can see all of this for free. There are so many things in Scotland that you can do that cost a lot of money. A lot of the tours are quite pricey, and even access to the Edinburgh Castle is about £15.50, but this is free. So I feel like there's no excuse not to visit the National Museum of Scotland. So whenever I see planes like this, I think of Tokorozawa and Miyazaki, because a lot of Miyazaki's works were inspired by the landscape of Tokorozawa, and that area has a lot of planes. So whenever I see a plane like this, I'm reminded of Studio Ghibli. Okay, this is the star. This is why we're here. Kingdom of the Scots. Just so fascinated by Scotland. It's such a beautiful place and the history is just incredible. Oh, this looks interesting. So this is a rare example of Renaissance jewellery. The Vatican jewel, a coded message. The enamelled side of this jewelled locket would have been worn against the body, close to the heart and invisible to most viewers. It may originally have contained a miniature portrait, possibly of a loved one. Size of this sword. It is a ceremonial sword, but it's almost twice my height. That's crazy. You could quite easily spend the whole day here. I think I've got about an hour left until they close, and I haven't even seen 15% of the whole place. So I'm trying to run. It's really good if you want to dive extra deep into Scottish history. We used to have a typewriter back in Uzbekistan, a really old typewriter. I don't know where it is now, but it used to belong to my nan. That's a pretty one. So as you go up and up the levels, you see more and more of Scotland's history. You basically see Scotland through time. And this museum doesn't only specialise in Scottish history, they have a lot of other exhibitions too. But I just wanted to check out the Scottish exhibitions first, since I am in Scotland. Before moving to Japan, I have never been interested in trains. But now that I've been on all the nice trains, I just love trains. I think because there are so many different train lines in Japan and so many different types of trains, I just have a newfound appreciation for the rail system. Oh, and they have ships too. My dad would have really liked this. I just sat down for a little latte. I needed a little break because I didn't anticipate the museum to be quite as big as it is, and there's still so much that I haven't seen. So if you want to visit the museum, make sure you dedicate a good portion of your day to it. And it's worth it because it's so interesting and there's so much to see. We are heading into the natural world now, where there's huge squid and many sharks. This looks so cool. I feel like a child. My dad used to take me to museums all the time when I was younger. Oh my god, I just saw something I'm terrified of. I'm sorry, but I am going to avoid bugs at all cost. At all cost. I don't care if it's a museum. I'm not looking at bugs. Sorry guys. But we do have minerals. Let me show you this incredible geode. So this particularly impressive geode was formed in Brazil during a volcanic eruption. It's huge, it's incredible, and it's worth a lot of money. I just want to look at the meteorites one more time. This is my favorite part of the whole museum. I love everything to do with astrophysics, astronomy, space research. So yeah, it's so cool to be able to see all these minerals and all the mechanisms used to look out into space. Okay, so it's closing time, which means I have to go. It was so worth it. I am heading to the Cambridge bar now to get some dinner. I wanted something simple, like a pub meal, because I feel like that's really suited to Edinburgh. So this is my choice of dinner for today. So you can actually try the lagers and the beers and the ciders that they have here before buying them. So I have decided to try 3. This one is the Palazzi Lager, I believe. I'm so sorry if that's wrong, but it sounds Italian to me, but apparently it's made here in Edinburgh. It's a very rich, well-rounded flavor. Then I got the Thistle Cross cider that's also made in Edinburgh. This is the Stuart Hollywood Pale. It smells very floral, which I wasn't expecting. When I first got this, I thought this was the cider, but it just has a scent of honey and flowers. It's so floral. It's delicious, actually. I think the cider and the Stuart Hollywood Pale are my favorite. So I got the cider because it was delicious, and I personally really like cider. But I really like how you can try the different drinks before buying them. It lets you have like a variety of flavors before choosing one. I love it. So I got the portobello mushroom burger and a giant pickle and some Cajun fries. But it looks really tasty. It's good. That place was so good. I highly recommend it. I loved that you could try various lagers and ciders and beers made in Scotland before buying them, and also the food was really, really good.